Hi, I'm Michael Mendez, President of Class Act Productions, and I'd like to welcome you to our information session for Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame the musical. I'd like to start by introducing our production team. I'm the director. I've already introduced myself, but I'll get the rest of the team to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm David Williams. I'll be the conductor of the show with the Gippsland Symphony Orchestra and the cast.
Hi, I'm Nathan Byrne and I'm the musical director of the West Gippsland Chorale.
Hi, I'm Sarah O'Brien.
Hi, I'm Kayla Campbell.
And we're your choreographers.
Hi, I'm Kate Dugan and I'm your production manager. And once we head into the theatre, I'll also be your stage manager.
Our production of Hunchback of Notre Dame is set to be a big event in Gippsland in 2026, and we are very fortunate to be featuring the West Gippsland Chorale and the Gippsland Symphony Orchestra for this production. I'm going to hand over to Nathan Byrne so he can talk about what the involvement of the West Gippsland Chorale looks like for this production.
For those that don't know, the West Gippsland Chorale is based in Warragul and has actually been performing in the region for 40 years as of last year. We usually perform 3 major concerts each year, and this will be an exciting extra for us. So for those members of the chorale already, they will already know that this is an extra project that we're taking on, and this helps us to find supplementary singers at a later date. So the role of the choir within this project is, as part of Hunchback, there is an onstage choir. It forms almost like a narrative device throughout the show, and it's separate to the ensemble, as you will soon find out.
We also have the Gippsland Symphony Orchestra on board to play the music, accompanying our wonderful performers in the show, and I'm going to hand over to David Williams to talk a little bit more about that.
The members of the GSO have played in many shows throughout Gippsland since our inception in 2015. For Hunchback of Notre Dame, as with the chorale, we are actually making a partnership with Class Act, the chorale and the Gippsland Symphony Orchestra, and making it a little bit more formalised. There will be potentially spaces for string players, but pretty much the orchestra will be the GSO and most of the parts will already be set, but there could be an opening depending on availability, so stand by for any further information, but we'll let you know if that's the case. The GSO rehearsal schedule is a Thursday night, and my plan for Hunchback rehearsals with the orchestra will be on a Thursday. And as we get closer to the show and we need to run 6 probes and we need to do runs, the orchestra will join with the cast and the chorale, which will be on a Wednesday night and specific Sundays.
For those of you following us at home, if you've managed to get onto our website, you can download the information booklet or audition pack. All of the information that we're going through in this information session is outlined in the book, so we'll outlay it all in this video, but you can read along if you'd like, go back and watch this video, or just read the information in the book. I'm going to talk about the performance season now. So we are really excited to be once again performing at the Gippsland Performing Arts Centre, GPAC. We're performing 7 shows in total over the 2 weekends. The first performance being Friday the 6th of March 2026 and the final on Sunday the 15th of March 2026. Our rehearsal venue for Hunchback is the Wings, Ronald Reserve Hall on Very Street in Morwell. Rehearsals for Hunchback will take place weekly on Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. and we also rehearse roughly 1 to 2 Sundays a month, and those Sundays are listed in the information pack, and on the screen next to me there are some months where we don't have a Sunday rehearsal, and we will be taking a break, a 3-week break over the Christmas period between December and January. Those dates are listed in the book too. To be in this cast, you need to be over 18 years of age, up to and including the time of our first performance. The first phase of our auditions for Hunchback is a compulsory dance workshop. The venue for that is the Moe Town Hall on Albert Street in Moe, and that you have a choice of 2 dates for that, on Wednesday the 25th of June or Friday the 27th of June, and the times will be 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. I'm going to hand over to our choreographers to talk a little bit more about what the compulsory dance workshop looks like.
As Michael said, there are 2 dance workshops. You do need to book in one of those times in order to audition for our show for the dance component. Within that process, everyone will learn a set routine. You will then go out and come back in smaller groups, and we might send you in and out just so that we get a vibe of what we're looking for. Everyone does need to complete the dance workshop. However, there will be cast members within the show that don't necessarily need to dance, but it's just a part of the requirements.
During the dance auditions, we'll be looking for charisma and personality, and then this later will convey into when we're learning the show and choreographing how you'll learn the choreography, how you'll take on corrections, learning and improving your technique, and also we'll be looking for some key feature dances as there's quite a few large dance numbers in the show.
So for the auditions, we do ask that you do wear appropriate clothing, something you can move in, appropriate footwear. Please tie up your hair. You don't need to go fancy with makeup and fancy hairstyles. We just want to see you at your best and just having as much fun as you can in the moment.
For our Esmeralda, we are looking for someone classically trained, as there is the tambourine scene, and I'd love to do some great big extensions with the arms and the legs, as lots of combre and personality as well.
Now going to talk about the ensemble audition option. So once again, this takes place at the Moe Town Hall on Albert Street in Moe. On 3 dates, we have Wednesday the 25th of June, Friday the 27th of June, and Sunday the 29th of June. On the Wednesday, the ensemble audition time is 7 p.m. till 7:30, the same on the Friday, and on the Sunday, the ensemble audition time is 10 a.m. to 10:30. You only need to choose one of those to come and do your ensemble audition. They will be in groups. I'm going to get David Williams up in a moment to come and talk about the ensemble audition requirements. It is a singing component, but from my perspective as a director, I'm looking to see who tells the story and who performs the lines of their song really well.
So the ensemble song is The Bells of Notre Dame, and you'll see this little arrow here. Start here. This is where we're picking the song up. It's at bar 17. So the morning in Paris, and it finishes here after a long note, Notre Dame. So what we're doing here is you'll notice that it says congregant, both, congregant M3, which means male, 5, female 1. Forget that. What we want to do is hear everybody singing the whole thing. Where it's marked for congregants, congregant M1 sings the fisherman fishes, and then someone else sings the baker man bakes to the bells of Notre Dame. So we're all going to sing all of that. During the course of our half an hour time, we are also planning to get you to sing it like a little ensemble. So we would have, say if there's 10 people in the group, we might break it up into 5 and allocate those individual lines to individual singers within the audition. So the idea is here, we really want to see what you can bring from a character perspective. What is the essence of these lines? We know the fisherman fishes and the baker man bakes, but why are we singing about that? There's a reason why we sing everything. So what your interpretation is will obviously be different to mine or Michael's or Nathan's, and that's fine, but bring something, right? And the other thing too, while I'm on, just for the ensemble singing and all the principles, diction. There's no D's in little, for instance. There's no D in important. Please make sure that you have your D's and T's, your consonants at the end of words, and really think about what you're singing, and more importantly, why you're singing. Because there's the who, what, why, when and where. That's important. The 5 W's. Make sure you are bringing the 5 W's out in everything you sing.
As part of the audition resources made available on our website, you will be able to find your own backing track that you can use not just to practice, but to use in the audition.
I'm now going to talk about the principal character auditions. So if you would like to audition for one of the main roles in Hunchback, you'll need to prepare for one of the principal character auditions. On the same dates, those auditions are on the same dates as previously mentioned, but later on in the night. So on the Wednesday and the Friday, we're starting at 7:30 and going through to 9:30 p.m. And on the Sunday, we're going from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have those times available. We'll probably have some audition time slots, about 5 to 10 minute time slots. We'll talk about how we book for those and how they're allocated a little bit later. Kate Dugan, our production manager, will mention that a bit later. But first we'll just talk about what the principal character audition looks like for you. So the principal character audition consists of 2 parts other than the dance component, which you will have already done at the dance workshop audition. We then have in your individual time slot the dialogue component of the audition and the music component, the singing component of your audition. So there are some character packs that I'll talk a little bit later, but in your character pack, your audition pack, I've got the Quasimodo one here. You'll audition as a complete character. So within that pack you'll have a couple of scenes worth of dialogue to practice and perform in the audition. We'll have a scene partner there for you to work off. You just practice the lines for that character. Really make use of the time that you've got to research. I'm not going to go through what I'm looking for in the characters. That we'll develop that when we start rehearsals. What I'm looking for, character-wise, is what you bring to the character. What have you got to offer these characters? Okay, so your interpretation of who you think these characters are. So start doing your research about the character that you want to perform or your audition for, and really interpret that dialogue as that character. There's a couple of contrasting scenes to work through, and then we've got the music component, which David Williams will talk a little bit about later.
You can see here the arrow that we talked about before in the ensemble section of the video. You start here. Ignore the pages where there's excessive extra music. The thing that I'm looking for in the singing with the principal characters is an understanding of the story, because you're storytellers, so we have to think about the narrative. What are we singing about? Why are we singing it? I mentioned the 5 W's before. As a principal character, they're absolutely vital, probably more so than even in the ensemble. So with your singing, make sure you have some understanding of who the character is. What is Quasimodo singing about out there? Why is he singing that? What is it about that particular scene that drives Quasimodo's reactions and his emotions there? If you look at the Esmeralda songs, when she sings God Help the Outcast, what's she actually singing about? Bring something to that audition. Don't just come in and sing notes and words. That's fine, everyone can do that. Find something. Do something with it. Convince me that you're Esmeralda or you're Quasimodo. Don't just come in and sing the words. You've got to convince me that you're the perfect person for the role. So there's 2 songs for each character. They're not overly long, but I would like you to have a look at both songs. Just learn the sections that we've indicated. Okay, so Quasimodo, you will be learning from preparing from bar 45 to the end of Out There, and then from bar 13 to the end of bar 28 in Heaven's Light. Totally different sections. Out There is big, strong voice, declamatory, the belt chorus if you like. Heaven's Light is very internal, it's very gentle, reflective. So why is that? What's the purpose of those two contrasting pieces? So all the pieces are contrasting in style, and when you pick your own song, no more than 90 seconds, please. I don't want to be listening to a 3-minute song that's got a 2-minute introduction. Don't do that. Ignore any instrumental sections, only the bits where you're singing. That will highlight to me and the rest of the panel what you can do with a song that you're confident with and that you know really well. Don't wait for the big build up to the chorus, to the belt chorus, because if your 90 seconds is up, we might say that's enough. Right? Don't be disappointed and don't feel that you've done something wrong if in the course of your singing we say thank you very much. Okay, we generally listen to the whole thing, but occasionally I have stopped people in the middle of their song because I've heard what I needed to hear. Right? It's not a reflection on you as an artist, it's just what I need to hear. If you give me that early, fine. If not, sing the whole thing. Don't waste time in the song of your own choice. You have to provide your own backing, so don't waste time with big long introductions. Think carefully about where you're going to sing and what sort of song it is. Alright, so if it's a song, a jazz song or whatever, if it's a rock song, probably not appropriate for Hunchback. Stick with the musicals. Stick with the musicals. I don't necessarily feel that some of these songs that we hear in auditions are actually relevant to what we end up singing about. Present the best way you can. Remember your diction. Remember singing in tune, rhythm, more importantly, interpretation. Tell the story.
As I mentioned, you have a choice of character. One character, choose one. It may not be the role that you get chosen for. This is just a tool. Just a tool for you to show what you can do. So think really carefully about that. It might be that you have a particular character in mind that you'd like to be, but one of the other characters on offer might actually show what you can do a little bit better. So think about that as a tool, not necessarily I'm auditioning, I'm doing the Quasimodo part because I want to be Quasimodo. It might be I'd like to be Quasimodo, but I think I can show a little bit more of my range doing this one. So consider that. The options that we have, the character packs to choose from, are Quasimodo, Frollo, Esmeralda and Phoebus. Those are your choices. So again, think carefully about which character pack you're going to do, and as David said earlier, think carefully as well about the song of your own choice and how that fits into the whole package that you're bringing forward. It's really a complete package that you're delivering to us. All right, make us lots of offers, lots of things that you bring to the table that are going to hopefully entice us to go, yes, that's the person. That's the person we need to be this character. You may audition for a principal character role, and through the course of the auditions, that may not be how we see you fitting into our show, and we may offer you an ensemble role. You will have an option in the audition registration form to say whether or not you would like to be in the ensemble if you have auditioned for a principal role, but that option is there for you if you simply just want to be in our production regardless of what the role is. And in saying all of that as well, it is not unheard of for someone to come in and do an ensemble audition to be asked to come back and show us a little bit more because we've seen something in that person that has shown us that they could be a potential character, a principal character. So vice versa, it can work either way. So just be aware that that is also part of our process, and ultimately in casting we will cast based on what we've seen and based on what we're looking for each character. So be prepared for a bit of flexibility in the way we've cast our show.
So as I mentioned earlier, the West Gippsland Chorale will be taking the place of the choir within Hunchback, and if required, we will be holding supplementary auditions based on need at a later date.
I'm now going to hand over to Kate Dugan, our production manager, and she's going to talk you through the audition registration process.
Thanks, Michael. So, are you feeling overwhelmed yet? Don't worry. Remember, it's all in the Bible here. Or you can go to our website, classactproductions.com.au, which is where our audition resources are, and this pack is there as well. So what happens next? Well, you're going to book for your auditions. So in the back of the pack is the link to our jot form, and that will be on the website and of course on this Facebook link as well. So fill in the jot form, and there's questions in there about what dance workshop you might like to do, which ensemble, and then if you're principals, when you might be available. I'll get back to principals themselves with your audition times. Don't worry if you've got questions. You can drop them in the comments underneath this live that we're doing tonight, or you can email me. The email address is here in the pack again, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. In the audition pack, in the jot form, there are questions about whether you're involved or intending to be involved in another show. It's not a trick question, so please be honest and let the directing team decide where that fits with our show. We'd prefer to know and know any clashes, because it helps us with decisions, and it also helps us with planning for the different rehearsals and things like that. So get to it, get on, get your audition form into me, and we'll take it from there, and we'll see you at the dance workshops. Remembering there are 2 for you to choose from. They're compulsory for everyone. Then we've got ensemble auditions for those who just want to be in the ensemble. But don't forget, as the director said, sometimes ensemble people end up being some of our principals. And principal auditions, there you go, that information will be able to come back to you. Now, if you haven't heard from me after you've put your audition form in, and you haven't heard from me within 48 hours, perhaps drop me a line. It shouldn't take me 48 hours to get to you, but sometimes it just depends on the paid job. All right, get those forms in.
Our first rehearsal is Wednesday the 2nd of July, so we're hoping to have our results from auditions emailed out on Sunday the 29th following our auditions. If you haven't heard anything within, I guess by the following Monday, as Kate said before, drop us a line and we'll endeavour to get that resolved. Now I'm just going to mention our fee structure for the show. We have all people auditioning will need to pay a $5 audition fee, and then once accepted into our cast, we have our show fees / membership fees for each cast member. That is $250 non-refundable once paid, and we are requiring that to be paid at the first rehearsal on Wednesday the 2nd of July. Now, in saying that, if for whatever reason that's going to prove to be difficult for you, just come and speak to us privately and we can have a chat about that and work something out with you. Show fees include any photocopying, any scripts, obviously your membership, insurance, things like that, and a Class Act Productions t-shirt for the show. So don't forget to download this, as Kate said, the Bible. This has got everything you need for your audition. Download that, I guess print out just the parts you need for your audition. And apart from that, thank you for joining us. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.